but you kill people and this thing is kept quiet. Who were the people that were killed? What were their names? In which of these polling units that you have the rerun that people were killed? Secondly, when you now talk about some journalists that were prevented, like I said, you have Kano with 15 million people, and you have only 141 people to determine. And we all know, why was this election so much an issue? Basically because you have a PDP group led by Kwankwaso, who believe that because he lost out in Port Harcourt, he thinks that he is going to use Kano as his launch pad for his 2023 presidential election. So he will use whatever means he is going to use to make sure that he wins Kano.
Mr. Panda, Mr. Panda,
2023
Mr. Panda,
election. Go ahead.
The same
yes, I'm with you.
You haven't really responded to the question that I asked about the EU mission report, which says that there was widespread violence and intimidation of voters during this election. How do you react to that? Because that tallies with what Mr. Hassan just said.
Listen, first of all, like I said, did you understand the time I was telling you? Of course, including the media, including all foreign observers also, said there was so much underage voting when we had the local government election in Kano. Only for the report later to turn out that local government election card readers were not used at all. So if somebody, for any reason, was conniving with EU to come and say where you have voter intimidation, show me a single clip where anybody wearing a red cap was stopped from going to vote. Show me a single person that was beaten. Show me a single person that was killed. Unless you do that, you cannot situate that a TVC reporter has gone to Gama and he was molested. So is that the whole reason of saying, okay, take Lagos, you are in Lagos. When you had the presidential election in Lagos, how many places did you have those incidents? But you cannot just take a single incident and say because of that you should cancel election. In either case, we are past that stage. Whoever has an issue, let him go to the tribunal and prove his case. I think people that are from Kano should be holding people responsible that are not from Kano for trying to portray our state as a violent state. We cannot take this. We can't go forward with people every time coming up to begin to paint our state black.
You're saying then, Mr. Panda, there was no violence at all, no activity of violence, no report of any violence in Kano during the elections?
I can't say there were no little schemism. Remember, for instance, the Commissioner of Information was harassed by PDP talks in one constituency, in one polling unit in Dala. I can't rule out completely that there were no schemism. That cannot be superimposed to indicate as if the election itself was like somebody was saying it was written. Now, first of all, me and you know, in this age of technology, the card reader can only accept card meant for that unit. So if you begin to infer that people were brought, they use a card reader, how did the card reader accept those PBCs if they are not by owners of those PBCs?
Well, Mr. Hassan, first of all...
I mean, people...
Yeah, but my apologies, Mr. Panda. But Mr. Hassan, you just heard him there say, look, you're not a member of the party. You might as well just come with your cap, because he doesn't understand that if you're an indigene and a member of the party, you can't disagree with what the party has said.
Chamberlain, I need to make this clear to my leader sitting with me. First of all, I have never been a PDP member. I was ANPP, I was CPC, and now I am APC. And talking about a partisan person, I am in this party, I am in politics because of President Muhammadu Buhari. Chamberlain, I inherited Baba Buhari from my parents. I'll tell you how. Growing up, I have grown up to see my parents pointing at the president when he was a military administrator, that this is a sincere man, this is somebody that this country needs, this is somebody that will liberate Nigeria. And this is how I became to fall in love with the president. So since he started his politics, I have been with him all through. I have never been a member of the PDP at all. That is one. Secondly, Chamberlain, I want to tell you how we got to know what really transpired in Kano. I belong to a forum that has a spread in the 36 states of the country. Nigeria has 119,262 polling units across the country, apart from the new ones that are being given in the IDPs. Kano has 8,600 polling units. In that polling unit, I have it here on my phone, we have one person to every box in Kano. So we have 8,600 people monitoring elections for us across Nigeria. And we have it in all the states of the nation. So if I tell you that this is what is wrong, or this is what had happened in these elections, believe me, it is the reality of it. I will never come to national TV, or even in my room, lie to my children, or lie to myself that there was election in the rerun of Kano. There was no election. We had calls, we called people, we spoke to them. All of them ran away because strangers were being brought in with weapons. They injured some, they killed some. One person was killed in Dala local government, a few in some spots where, if I bring out my phone now, I'll tell you the exact places that people were injured, harassed. Like Bichi local government, the district head of Bichi local government came out on that night and did a broadcast that nobody was allowed to vote in that community, and strangers came in, took over the polling unit, did what they did, wrote what they wrote, and took it to the professors that unfortunately announced that result. So there was no rerun in Kano, and there was no election at all in Kano. And let me tell you, Chamberlain, we should be careful of all these things. This same act was what gave birth to Boko Haram, as I said. In the next election, if somebody is going to contest against Ganduje in Kano in 2023, or any election coming up before that time, he would also come out with his own thugs. Before you know it, people will start giving people guns, and before you know it, Kano has turned out to be, will turn out to be River State or even Borno State as it stands today. So we should be very careful with sentiment and remove sentiment when it comes to the people's voices. Whatever sham that has happened in Kano, the people of Kano have shown to the world that we stood by what we believe in. We stood against injustice, we stood against cluelessness, we stood against impunity. We voted for who we wanted to vote for, and if Ganduje thinks he won the polls in Kano, I am telling you, he cannot win our hearts. You know, and the party, as it stands today, we need to do a lot of things for us to get our party set in Kano. And I'm saying it again, if we stand for election tomorrow, we will lose Kano. We have lost the people of Kano as it stands today. You've seen those. I've had audios, I've had WhatsApp updates of people I know that are pro-Buhari.
Let me take it from that perspective, because I mean, you talked about how you got, with the president. But, yes, the president also did say people should vote for candidates of their choice. And he also said security agencies should ensure that that is the case, that he didn't want any violence. But if violence, as you say, occurred in many of those local government areas and people were monitoring and gave you that feedback, was the president aware? What do you think happened, how that was allowed to go on?
Chamberlain, the president cannot go to Kano during the rerun. It will turn out to be he is supporting, just as he said I should have come with a red cap, the APC could have said Baba Buhari should wear a red cap. He couldn't have interfered. How can he interfere in a state whereby there is an election going on? That is not his state, that is not his ward, that is going there, that he has to go there and vote. He can't go. He can't go. Whatever it is, the president is a process man. He will say, okay, let it be taken to the courts. We have the courts, we have the judiciary. Anybody that feels he's been cheated, that he should go to the elections tribunal. I believe that is what the president that is what the president minds is. That's what his mind is.
You said the other time, Mr. Hassan, you said the other time that, well, you heard Mr. Panda say the other time that you can't use little skirmishes here and there as an umbrella for widespread violence. According to him, these claims that you are making is too highfalutin to say that there are so small pockets of occurrences, skirmishes, that are not as elaborate as you are making them to be.
Ayo, that is not true. There was no election in Kano. The few polling units in Gama that election took place were not up to 80% of the polling units in Gama that were supposed to have run the rerun. There was no election in Kano. The few polling units everywhere that had elections were not up to the results that were brought into the coalition center. And this is the reality, and this is the truth. And I'm telling you, I know I will die tomorrow and meet my God. There is no way I will lie. I'm an APC man. Whatsoever happens, the truth should prevail. And let me tell you, Chamberlain, our plans, if not maybe for the court matters that the opposition has gone to court, we've planned to write to the party and copy the leader of the party, that is Mr. President. If care is not taken, we have lost Kano as APC. Ganduje has gone, he has written what he wants to write, and I'm telling you, whatever happens, Ganduje can never win elections for us in Kano. He has lost it for us.
Chamberlain, I think...
But just I will have a minute to break. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's high time I try to bring us back on track. First of all, like I said, Hassan cannot claim, for whatever reason, to be an APC member from Kano State, because what he's saying is very obvious where he belongs to. Now, secondly, and which is very fundamental, is that these elections that have been conducted, like I said, there is a law, there is a tribunal. Anybody who is disputing that there is this election, it is no longer a social media issue. It's no longer coming to channels and saying that no election, no rerun. Gama that he is citing is only one out of the 18 local government where this rerun took place. And if he is still insisting that a lot of people were killed, but he cannot point out to a single person that was killed, he cannot point out to a single person that was arrested for killing. Come on, are human beings a place that were just killed when you have rerun?
Okay, Mr. Panda, my apologies. We need to go to break, but we'll come back and let him, because if let him just tell us where were those who were molested or arrested, or, as you said, specific areas now, and then we'll let you respond, and he will eventually come in as well. So just hang on, everybody. We'll be back in a moment.